So I believe it has been a couple minutes here. I went over the calibration tips as far as the sensors go. So one of the things I want to explain is once we have programmed this guy and it's actually all ready to go, I want you guys to make sure that this SON cap is being utilized. What happens if you don't use this SON cap, this connection will actually get not only water in it, but slowly corrode, and you just won't be able to make a communication with it. So you just need to fasten it down on there. It has grooves as well. Just gotta find the right spot. There we go. Same thing. It also has an O-ring on the inside. You just want to go as finger tight as possible. You always want to make sure everything is sealed absolutely tight, just like so. This bail is meant to hold and support your rope. We do sell rope here and braided twine and more. If you guys ever need any, or you can use whatever you guys have in your job trailer, but just make sure it's fastened and supported. So I believe we have a few minutes of data, sorry. I'm ready to look at it. So I'm going to put my cable back onto the 6920 to achieve communication. Just got to find the groove again, push it down, thread it. Perfect. There we go. I have it hooked up to my 650 display. Again, I always make sure everything is off before I turn or plug everything in, and then I power it on. Okay, so I'm going to go into the SON menu. Now in the SON menu, it communicated. We know the batteries are still working inside the 6920. So where I'm going to go to, instead of going to run this time to see what's going on, I actually want to see my file. This file parameter will allow us to see all of our files that have been run on the 6920 SON. And we can, if we don't like it, we can delete it, we can view it, and more. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to get the data from the 6920 to my 650 display. Now, why are we doing that? We're doing that because in order to get it onto the computer, the data has to go from the SON to the 650 and then to the computer. This is actually like a great thing to do because you can keep the 6920 pretty much downhole the whole time you're sampling, except for when you have to pull your data. But then you can just take the 650 display back to your job trailer, your office, and then do the data removal from there. So when I go to directory, well, notice ABC. So it looks like I was talking a little bit longer than I wanted to, but we have about 10 samples here. So what I want to do is I want to go back because I know I have my data there. I'm going to upload it because we're in the 6920 SON menu. We want to get the data from the SON to the 650 display. So I'm going to go upload. I'm going to pick ABC, enter. It's going to ask me from the dates I started to when I finished. Proceed. And then there are three options here. Please choose the PC6000. This will allow the data to be easily transferred from not the SON to the 650 display, but then much more easier onto the actual software. And that way you'll get your Excel copy right away. So we'll enter. It's telling me bytes received. And it finished. So I'm going to go back once. Now I'm still in my SON menu, so I'm going to go back one more time. Now I'm on my 650 main menu, so that's at the top here. File, directory, or we can even view the file. ABC, enter. So there we go. We literally have our data. Oh, I apologize. We have our data, and if I move to the right, because we can see a arrow bar here. Oops. Go to the right, battery voltage, and more. So that's how easy it is to do long-term unattended sampling. The thing that makes it really nice and easy about this unit is just a couple button presses, so it's really not too hard. As far as it goes, when you actually have your data on your 650 display, then you'll always have it here. The nice thing is if you somehow run out of battery, it'll always be stored on the memory here. Just a piece of advice when you guys are asking for a 6920, please let us know if you are doing it for unattended or just discrete sampling. There are two types of 650 displays, one that has 1.5 megabytes of memory and the other one that has about 10 kilobytes. So a big difference. So obviously we look at the order, the tech notes are in that order, and we just want to make sure that you guys have everything that you need. So one other thing, if you might ask, is it still data logging? It is. I just transferred whatever data was on the sonde at that time to my 650 display. So it actually is unaffected right now. So it's still data logging as we speak. So that's pretty much the gist of everything. I do apologize. More or less, the calibration procedure, we might be able to do that another day. But if you guys have any questions or anything about the unattended sampling or discrete sampling, then by all means, ask away. Yes, well, there's two things, sorry, I want to bring up now that just came to me. I do apologize. But one thing that happened during the unattended sampling is the sonde cap that we do install on the top here. It wouldn't hurt when you guys are doing the maintenance there just to make sure it is clean. That's one of the biggest culprits, especially for the tech calls, because everybody knows how to install batteries, everybody knows how to hook it up. It could be as little as this connection here. So, after every 2 weeks or so, just have a look inside it. You can use paper towel. Anything that's lint-free as well is great. As far as that goes, the other thing that I'd like to mention is the sponge that's in here. Please remove it when you're doing the calibration process. We have gotten phone calls where the sponge was left in there. People wonder why they're getting large turbidity readings, so that has happened as well. So actually this is more of like a comprehension question because the 6920 doesn't actually measure FNU. So I'll explain the difference. NTU and FNU. FNU is actually more of a European term, but I have gotten technical calls because somebody was going through the turbidity settings on a YSI Pro DSS. And because YSI is becoming more international and prevalent, they have to offer different turbidity units that meet like European standards. And I guess the other more in-depth difference is the NTU uses white light to measure turbidity, where FNU uses a near infrared light to measure turbidity. But the readings are the same, just how they're measured and given to the different consultants is a little bit different, but the readings are relatively the same. The calibration solution, by my standards and what's highly advised, they're used, especially the turbidity solutions, should only be used once. As far as the other solution, it really comes down to how well you take care of your sonde. It's really easy to cross-contaminate if you guys aren't cleaning the sonde in between your calibration process. That would involve using DI water to make sure it's not only clean of the previous solution, but then you also want to ensure that's dry so you don't dilute your next solution. So the 3 pH solutions would be as good as up to 3 calibrations, depending on how well you take care of it. Now, we always have more solutions here. We sell by 500 milliliters to jugs. We also have deionized water, so I highly recommend that if you guys are doing long-term and unattended sampling, every 2 to 4 weeks, it wouldn't hurt to either calibrate it, bump check it, clean the unit. But that's my advice to you.
Thanks again for attending. And just a reminder, at Pine, we have 39 locations across North America, and you as the client don't pay to move it from branch to branch, you pay from the nearest location. Up on the screen, you'll see the Pine Edmonton branch location and phone number. Please call in any chance you get if you have questions or concerns. I put up the contact information for our branch manager, Virginia Robinson, as well as for myself, Trevor Jett. Feel free to send us an email or call us at the branch.